So I'm back with another celebrity guest interview from this past weekend's PopCon Louisville. And this time it's with none other than Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Men. This guy is awesome. I almost had an opportunity to go and do karaoke with him at Kaiju here in Louisville. But man, this guy is just a trip. He's really fun to be around and spend time with. If you ever see Ming Chen at a convention, even if you may have never heard of Ming Chen, stop by his booth. He's super knowledgeable in the world of comic books. As I said, he was on AMC's Comic Book Men. That's Kevin Smith and everybody that owns and runs Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash over in Red Bank, New Jersey. I've had the pleasure of going there. And let me know in the comments below if you've had the pleasure of going there or if you've watched the show and you'd like to see it come back. But here is my interview with Ming Chen from PopCon Louisville. I hope you enjoy this. I got a few other celebrity interviews coming up. Rob Weedhoff and Roger Clark, both in Red Dead Redemption 2, and with Rob being in the first game also. So here's my interview with Ming Chen. Hope you enjoy it. All right, everybody. Welcome to another interview here at PopCon Louisville. I am here with the man himself, Ming Chen. You guys know him from AMC's Comic Book Men. And, he's buddies with Kevin Smith, Walt Flanagan, you got Brian and Mike. And so, Ming, I got to ask you, man, how are you enjoying your PopCon Louisville so far? It's their first time doing this here. How do you think about it so far?
I'm having a blast. I'm vying for the title of unofficial mayor of Louisville. And in the last, I guess, two and a half days, I've been doing pretty well, man. I enjoy your city. I was last year about 7 years ago, so I got to hit all my favorite places that we found last time. So like Kaiju, Side and Faden's, Shirley May's Cafe. But the main thing I wanted to do besides have fun at the convention and meet people was I really need to hit the Angel's Envy Distillery. I love Angel's Envy bourbon, and I got to go on Friday morning, and it was everything I thought it would be. It was amazing.
That's good. That's good. So we've been talking about your time here at PopCon Louisville. And what are some things you've kind of noticed about this convention? I know you did the indie show. I believe that was in 2017, right?
Yes.
What are some things you've kind of noticed that you've really liked? I know you've walked around here a little bit too. What are some things that kind of highlighted this show for you?
I like the very Kentucky Midwest centric vendors. The guys run the show are top notch.
Okay.
I mean, they've been doing it. We're coming on 10 years of PopCon Indianapolis, and you go 10 years running a con, you're doing something right because this is not easy.
No,
it's running. Yeah, people are always like, "Hey, Ming, would you ever run a convention?" I'm like, "Absolutely not, man. Too many unknown factors. A lot of egos."
Yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah. No, you're right. It takes a lot, and I'm friends with the people that run the show, and I've talked about wanting to do a convention myself, but I don't think so, man. I've been covering these for a decade now. I see so much. It's like a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm going to leave it up to the experts. However, even the experts, so many factors go into this, and they've got a really great team here, and I love all of them. So I hope they go 100 years. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and shift the focus away from the convention for a second. Let's talk about what it is that you do exactly, right? So, of course, you were on the show Comic Book Men, and I have to ask you, I've actually been to the Secret Stash, the original location, which I didn't even know that you guys moved. They had moved locations. I was looking at some old videos, and I didn't even know that they moved locations. I like that new setup. It looks great in there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It was during COVID. They had to move it. It's a block south, so it's not.
Yeah, you're still on Broad Street.
Still on Broad Street, still in the same town. What's cool about the new place is Kevin got a whole blank canvas to work with. So he rebuilt the Quick Stop facade on the back wall.
Yeah.
It legit looks like the Quick Stop is in the back of the Secret Stash. What's cool about that is there's a big lit up Quick Stop grocery sign. That was the original sign that was at the Quick Stop when he shot Clerks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you watch Clerks 2, you remember there's a fire at the Quick Stop and the sign got all melted. So Kevin made the owners a deal. It's like, hey, I'll buy you a brand new sign since we kind of have to make it look like we burned it up anyways. I'll buy you a brand new sign on me if you give me the old one. And of course, why wouldn't you take that? And everybody won. He got his piece of history, and they got a new sign. That's cool. But there's an Iron Bob from Jin Sama Reboot bursting out of the wall. The Buddy Christ, the original Buddy Christ from Dogma is there.
Yep.
except it's got stained glass now and a pew and a kneeler. So you can
I
pray
saw
to
that. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the space is bigger. So while I miss the old store a lot, I'm not gonna lie, we had a lot of history there.
Oh yeah,
A lot of good times.
there.
Shot comic book men there. Had all night poker tournaments there.
Yeah.
Stan Lee was there. Ben Affleck. Everybody. My favorite story about the old store is when after they moved out, they ripped up the carpet and they started selling squares of it, and it came with little plaque, a caption that said, "Giant stood here." But the only thing I could think of was like, okay, I brought my dog there once. She peed all over the floor. She got excited to see Mike Zapsik. So you might have a square that my dog peed on. One time we were doing all night poker tournament. Our friend Gavin, we had this big giant Rice Krispie square. It looked like a doormat side. He's like, hey, how much will you pay me if I eat this whole thing in one sitting? And we're like, I don't know. So we got a thing like, all right, but you can't throw up. You throw up, no money.
Yeah.
So he's eating and he's doing pretty good. And then he's like, hey, can I drink something while I do this?
Oh no.
Well, yeah, sure, why not? And a logical person with water. He grabbed a Sprite, carbonated, drank it, puked all over the floor. Didn't win, lost all the money. So you might have a square that he puked on. But on the flip side, you probably have a square that Kevin Smith definitely stood on, one that I stood on, one that Stan Lee stood on, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Any number of legends for sure.
One thing I've always wanted to ask you about was, how was filming that show like? I know that, it's an actual comic book store, right? So what was it like having to essentially kind of close it down to produce an episode? What was that whole thing like?
It was fun. It took a little bit of figuring out. So if you watch the very first season, you'll notice there's no one shopping.
Yeah.
There's no one in the store.
It's kind of like it's almost like Pawn Stars, but there's no one in there. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so people are like, "This is a retail store. Well, you guys don't have any customers. How are you staying in business?" Of course, we shut down the store where we shot, which bugged Walt Flanagan to no end because he's a man of commerce. He's a businessman.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah,
and he lives and dies by what that final receipt comes out at the end.
Yes,
even though it's Kevin's money. Like we worked hard to make money for that, guys, because we liked it. We liked Kevin. And we loved working hard to make him money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So second season, they heard the complaints, and the network was like, you need some people back there. I don't care. Like, we're not going to pay for them. Somehow fill the store. So while people were waiting to get in, we were like, hey, do you have an extra 30 minutes? Do you want to be on the show? Can you just come in and look like you're shopping? Okay. And so if you, seasons 2 through 7, there are people back there shopping. I was going to say,
I noticed it. Do you guys miss doing that show? Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I miss it every day, man.
Yeah.
The biggest joke is, I still get made fun mercilessly by Brian Johnson and Walt Flanagan. I don't get a paycheck for it anymore. I do. I get made fun for free again, which sucks. And even Brian came up to me one day. He's like, hey, man, I have it all figured out. I have the best job in the world. I'm like, oh, yeah, what's that? He's like, I get to make fun of you for a living.
Oh, man.
It's not wrong.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, well, at least I got paid too. So that took the sting out of it.
Part.
But, yeah, I do. Yeah. I do miss it every day, though. And, it was so much fun, man.
Oh yeah, I wish you guys would bring that show back. I mean, have you guys ever had that discussion about figuring out maybe? I know maybe not AMC or maybe make a good Netflix show.
Yeah,
I know Netflix loves to bring things back, so it'd be kind of.
We talk about it every day. Unfortunately, we do not own the rights, and there's a whole there's all kind of stuff. However, I'm hoping that it will come back so that someone's smart enough to realize that we need to be back on the air.
No,
so I think it will one day.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I don't know how. Maybe we'll get paid more. Maybe we'll blow up into even bigger. Who knows? But I'm ready, man. I'm ready to come back.
Yeah, I would love to see you guys come back because I know for me, you guys, your show was on during The Walking Dead. It was like right after. And so like for me, that was like my 2-hour block. Man. I was like, all right, I'm watching Walking Dead, and I'm gonna watch you guys. And that was what it was for me. That was what that show was for me. Let's talk comics, right?
Okay.
This is what you know all about, right? So, I know you haven't seen the Michael Keaton, the new Flash movie, which I call a Batman movie with the Flash in it. By the way, that's kind of how I see it.
Like
that's
Batman 1.5 or 1.5 or 33 1/3.
How do you feel about James Gunn doing the DC universe? I gotta know this, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm very positive on this. I think James Gunn is a genius, and it's not like he came out of nowhere. He worked with Lloyd Kaufman or Troma movies. He did a lot of low budget stuff, and I think and he's a nerd. He reads comics. He loves pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not just a hired gun, no pun intended, but he's a guy who knows about fandom, and he's read the comic books.
Absolutely.
And, you know, listen, he took a ragtag group of guys from outer space from a comic book franchise that nobody knew about. Even hardcore comic book fans didn't really know who the Guardians were.
That was one I forgot about. Yeah.
And, you know, he kind of took the original iteration and made it better and, you know, added some characters. And he turned into not just a mainstream property, but one that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Like I've never met anyone who's like, oh yeah, I don't like Guardians. They're great. I think he mixes a great blend of you know, comic books, sci-fi, action, comedy.
Yeah.
The comedy is what I also come for.
Yeah.
And
I need to see Guardians 3. I haven't. I still haven't watched that movie.
Yeah, and so when I heard he's doing Suicide Squad, I was like, oh, a ragtag bunch of misfits.
Did you watch that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love this version much better than the other one they did. And it says a lot when like a year passed and they redid it.
Yeah.
Like that said a lot. Yeah, I think he's got a good grasp of like history and how to kind of tie everything together. Yeah. So I have high hopes for James Gunn.
I know a lot of people were upset that Henry Cavill is not going to be Superman. Let me ask you, man.
I think they're lying. I think they're
you think they're full of it?
I think they're throwing red herrings.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Henry Cavill is Superman. Right
yeah,
now.
he is. Yeah. He is the modern Superman.
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna do like an earlier story, and then they're gonna bring him in at the end. It's like, oh, see, I got you guys, and then they're gonna be for Henry Cavill.
That would be amazing. By the way, I will say if they don't for some weird reason bring Henry Cavill back, is there anybody that you think you'd like to see? I mean, I'd love to see Ming Chen play Superman. Let's get you in there. Let's get you in there.
I mean, Justice League China maybe.
Hey, JLC.
Yeah, which they've done in the comics. So yeah. Or I'd be in the parody version, like the Great Lakes. Like the Great Lakes Avengers. I'd be like Squirrel Girl, but I don't right now. I think Henry Cavill's pretty perfect for that role.
Oh, he's got it. There shouldn't be anybody else playing.
Yeah, he's got the look, he's got the handsomeness, he's got the build, he's got the right attitude. I think he's a great actor. Yeah. So I think I think he's great. Yeah, I just read like he was supposed to be in the Highlander remake, and he's not doing it anymore.
Man, that would have been so cool to see that.
I think I know Henry Cavill was a McLeod, like the Clan McLeod. Yeah. That would have been cool.
Have you got to watch The Witcher?
Some of it, yeah, it's good. He's great. He's awesome.
Anything that man is in, he's just good. Like and he's a huge nerd. I didn't even know that he was that big of a nerd. He builds his own gaming PCs and stuff.
Yeah, he does it.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, he streams it online, and like all the women like swoon, and we're just like, hey man, what kind of graphics card is that? Like, yeah, it's cool, man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, Ming, thanks so much for the time, man. I appreciate you so much.
Anytime, every time.
Out. And
I'll see you in Indy.
We'll be there. Are you gonna be there too?
We'll be there.
Hey, we'll make it a party. We'll make it a big party. All right, thank you guys.